Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to read part one of the MetaMaterials blog. This is now a vlog since it's a video. So this is from Leszek Kowalski. This is part one of his MetaMaterials updates. This is from June 28th, 2021. And this is part one. It says, there are things about the metamaterial post-merger that make it more challenging to explain on social media. I think it is very important to have an understanding between what's happening now with Meta and what happened with GameStop and AMC earlier this year. I have firsthand knowledge and experience of going through what I call the GME and AMC fiasco when it did the initial squeeze, especially with GME. The one thing you need to be aware of are liquidating requirements of your broker that hold your stock. What happened with GameStop and AMC is that a very large portion of the trading platforms either logged people out of their accounts, prevented people from accessing their accounts, and or even liquidated their holdings. That's Robinhood. Even though the concept of a squeeze is great, it will have significant issues on the back end of the brokerage houses, which will protect their positions to ensure they can cover if and or when everyone sells. So a more controlled squeeze is much more ideal. One thing to note, a potential squeeze through a merger can come in waves, an initial small wave, and then potentially a large one. The thing to remember is that there is no way to predict when it happens. However, MetaMaterials is different because of all the moving parts and chaos that it's causing and will cause. I would monitor the situation closely as shorts need to cover. One other thing I want to mention, I think is really important. It is really important to understand that you don't collect profits necessarily at the peak when you have a squeeze. If you take a chart and you zoom it out 6 months and you begin to see a trajectory basically going 90 degrees up, from my personal experience, it's smarter to start to scale out as the peak goes up. If you try to wait until it reaches the maximum peak, you are going to have problems with trying to scale out and take profits. If people like what I'm posting, I'm going to do more. So that is his first post. I think we'll do another one. That was pretty good. So yeah, as I saw with GameStop and AMC, uh, in terms of AMC, that went up to $16-20. So he's right that it was going 90 degrees and it still had room to go up. It went up to 60. We all know that now after the fact. GameStop did not go to 480, but it just went up to 300 something. So this is his second post. This is from June 28th, 2021, his second post of the same day. He says here, you're probably watching and asking, why am I unable to trade MetaMaterials, MMAT, and why has it dropped 20%? Everyone is basically in the same boat. I don't think there is any real question to be concerned why you may not be able to trade Meta right now, or if the value in your trading account is, for example, 12 cents. This is not your normal merger. This is not your normal merger. It has a lot of moving parts that need to be integrated. One of those parts has to do with the MMATF float. This may take some time to sort things out as it is in the hands of the trading platforms and exchanges. Last week, short volume ending as of Friday, June 25th, was 35.45%. The normal short amount was 61.78%. That is significant. Fintel showed last week that Torchlight had a higher percentage of doing the trajectory over GameStop and AMC. That will get anyone's attention. What Meta management has basically done is thrown a metaphorically speaking, a grenade into the market. You simultaneously have a dividend, oil assets divestiture, reverse split merger, Russell, which is today, 28th of June, QSIP change or CUSIP change, and share repurchase all happening basically at the same time, plus integration into the old Torchlight shell and the MMATF component. And you have to also link that into Meta on the other side of the border in Canada or in America, depends where he is. They had to do a lot of things because they needed to get rid of any perceived baggage coming into the new MMAT shell. They can't risk having institutional investors getting cold feet with investing into the new MMAT stock. To put it bluntly, this is a regulator's nightmare. In my opinion, this was management focusing on neutralizing the naked shorts, synthetics, etc. Legal shorts still had legal ground, but they would be seriously rolling the dice Monday morning, June 28th, hoping everything would be on solid ground for them if they didn't deal with their holdings on Friday, June 25th. This is going to take a bit of time to sort things out. I do have first-hand insights on the GameStop and AMC side that I experienced earlier this year, and so do I, that I will post later on. In my opinion, those insights could become very relevant to MetaMaterials. If people like what I'm posting, I will post more in Meta. So it's great. I'm going to like this post. If that worked or not. Okay. He's got two more. I think I'll do a new stream just for these two. It's talking about, what is it talking about here? Tesla, dividend, and then is the last one here that I have not read any of these yet. These last two talks about the Tesla connection. So I might read that, and actually I will as its own video. So I'm gonna just do this last one and then I'm gonna do this one and then do the next one as a new stream. So it's gonna be called the Tesla connection. So this one is MetaMaterials update June 29, 2021. I'm trying something new. Okay. One of the things I want to address that I think is a hard pill to swallow for myself, I am pretty certain is a hard pill to swallow for anyone else that held Torchlight stock before the ex-dividend date, is the 1-for-2 reverse split. Listen, this was completely outlined in the MetaMaterials circular prospectus and was voted on by Torchlight shareholders to have an option or a tool for management to use. And there's a link for the circular prospectus PDF. I understand the rationale behind it. You can't balance the floats if you don't have that option or the tool. I get it. But it doesn't change the fact that all Torchlight shareholders who held out to qualify for the dividend took a serious hit in their portfolio holdings because of the requirement to hold Torchlight shares prior to the ex-dividend date and then right up to June 24th into the 25th to qualify for the dividend. I get it. But the fact is, the short attack started on June 22 and didn't let up for the entire week. You can't erase the fact that we lost half our holdings. And technically, that would not have happened if the Torchlight final number balanced at the time of merger. I think that is a very high price to pay. It will sting even more if you held Torchlight shares when it was just pennies. Meta is the first of its kind in its niche industry to go public. They have first mover advantage because of that, same as Tesla had in the beginning. This is just an opinion, but I think there are two perspectives that need to be adopted within Meta senior management. Number one, the dividend has to be maximized for the sacrifice Torchlight shareholders took on behalf of the new MetaMaterials shell. I think you're going to have a lot of very upset Torchlight dividend shareholders if the dividend announced is $5 or $10. I may come across as unrealistic, but straight up, I don't think it's going to cut it. Personally, I don't think $20 is going to cut it. MetaMaterials management stated before the merger that the intent was for anyone holding the special dividend would have enough to reinvest into the new MetaMaterials. So here's the link to the interview. It says Torchlight CEO of MetaMaterials dividend. According to statistics, it could be between $1 to $20, although he explains it is unpredictable at the time. Number two, they need to sorry, can't even say sorry correctly. They need to structure their growth plan to account for a future stock split to return and reward Torchlight shareholders whose shares were sacrificed for the greater good of the company. 2-for-1 is a good start. For every share you own, now you double it. And management needs to make sure they have enough product in the pipeline that, when released, has such intensity on the market that when the stock splits occur, the share price can go right back up. The preferred shares everyone gets is equal to the amount of Torchlight shares you held prior to the 1-for-2 reverse split. So he wants the reverse split to be reversed, basically. I made a comment previously that if I was management, I would have the dividend amount as high as possible, potentially unprecedented, as any remaining shorts and naked shorts would be required to cover in a normal trading situation, but nothing about what is going on is normal. So they would be needed to cover, required to cover, in essence, potentially outsourcing the dividend expense. The strategy is sound that they have put into place. There are, however, a lot of variables. I just want to know that there is an awareness at MetaMaterials senior management levels that there is a hope at some point in the future that the shares that have been sacrificed for the greater good will come back to all of us at some point. I am a team player. But I do not like money being taken out of my rice bowl. If people like what I'm posting here, I'm going to post more. So that's all for this stream. I'm going to do a next part called the Tesla connection, and that's only one of his blog posts, but it's a lengthy one. It will probably take at least 5 minutes, maybe as much as 10. So that's it for now. I'm going to take a little break, and I'll be back probably in the next 5-10 minutes with the last vlog, or last blog, but turning to a vlog since I'm reading what he has written. Again, from Leszek Kowalski, powerroadmap.substack.com. Okay, and I'll check in very shortly.